Hello, and mine's and Jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and it's time for the reveal. Yes. Eh?
Tim, it looks like you're framing the worst part of you.
My face?
Yeah, I'm blowing your mind right now, right? I know with every face reveal I've ever watched, I'm like, you don't look like I think you're supposed to look. Start looking different now. But, I've been promising the face reveal and I promised it in June before Blade Show, and now it's in June before Blade Show. So you guys know whose ugly mug to go look for if you want to stop by and say hi. My ego's not so swollen up that I expect to be swarmed, but I know some of you guys are going to be there and some of you guys want to know who to look for, so yeah, it's this guy. But, another part of this is just saying thank you for the support. Thank you for everything, you guys. We have come a lot farther, a lot faster than I expected. This is still a small channel. We're still sitting a little over 5,500 subs right now, but for me, that's a big deal. A lot of channels don't survive long enough to hit that point, and I mean a lot of them. And I've seen a lot of channels in the same space like pop up and hammer it and do everything they can for growth, just tons and tons of stuff, all the old tricks in the book. And then they hit a certain point, and it's usually around the 2,000 to 2,500 sub mark, and then they're gone. So you guys have made this an incredible ride so far. I kind of always wanted to have something like this, but I expected at this point we'd still be grinding to hit like maybe our first 3K. And I know the difference between 3K and 5,500 doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot when you're building things organically, and you're building things like slow and steady. When you're doing what we're doing here, we're doing a slow and steady build, it's a lot, and even if the channel goes belly up, if I wake up tomorrow and there's no more channel, I will always be grateful for everything you guys have done to support the channel, to support me, and to help build this thing because, like I said, this is something I've always wanted, and it's something that we are doing together. I'm not doing this by myself. And the cool thing is we don't have like a ton of outside influences on this. We're building this all ourselves. It's DIY, very grassroots. This is kind of what I wanted to do, and this is how I wanted to do it. I can't say how much I appreciate you guys. And it's everything from the guys that are in the live streams, every stream hanging out with, the support, the comments, everything else. It's the guys that are commenting on all my videos. It's the positive comments. It's the occasional negative comment, which I get surprisingly few of, which I'm grateful for as well. I have fun with those. I have a very thick skin, but I don't see them that often, and you guys are helping get to the point where the channel can support itself. For the longest time, I have been coming out of pocket for everything that shows up on the channel, and I'm starting to see some companies pitch in and throw us a knife here and there to check out. You guys that are providing the super chats, y'all are providing the channel memberships. You guys are making the channel where it can support itself. Immensely grateful. Just immensely grateful. I said just all about the gratitude right now. So, it is what it is. We're not slowing down. We're not going to stop doing what we're doing. I am still building the channel. I'm still trying to add new stuff in so that I can give y'all a bit more variety. We're going to keep going and doing what we're doing and keep building this channel. I would love to see 10K by this time next year. I think we can do it. I think we can do it provided, I keep doing the right thing for the right reasons, and one of those things like the mission statement for the channel, which a lot of you guys haven't really heard, and this seems like a good time to just kind of throw that out on the table, is we're trying to find cool stuff, like affordable stuff, budget stuff, like below 55, 50 bucks, like down there in that, at 75 if we're pushing it, stuff below that price point that is good, high quality stuff that, like I'd be happy to carry every day for a year and be just fine. Sometimes we take a look at more expensive stuff. Sometimes we get some really cool stuff in that falls outside of that. But the general idea here is we find that and try to maintain as much lack of bias as we possibly can. There's always going to be some kind of bias. Like if I pull a knife and I'm carrying it and it's tipped down, I'm going to be unhappy with that right out of the gate. You can't get 100% of the bias out, but you can try to get as much out as possible. And that's part of why, like, we do Cardboard Slayer. I can't really do much to manipulate how much cardboard these things cut up if I don't touch the edge while we're doing it. You know, I can't do a whole lot to manipulate the results of that while we're doing it. You know, the results speak for themselves. And you can see, like, I'm trying to improve my process, which is now why now that I have video editing software, I can take you out to the car hole. I can show you the pile of cardboard that it cut up. I can leave the receipts behind on the live stream. You know, you guys can see what we've done with this. And we're trying to build this with the most integrity possible. And the vast majority of what we look at, I want to carry it. I want to use it. I want to give you guys a review of something that has been carried and used in some capacity. You know, that way every review isn't just, hey, look at this thing. This is awesome. We haven't used it or anything, but it's awesome. You're going to want to buy it. You know, like, those don't work for me. I'm not bothered when guys say this is just an unboxing. We're taking a quick look at it. Or they're not trying to make a quick unboxing and look their full review. But the guys that do make the 3 minutes they spend on it their full review without carrying it or using it do bother me. Because I have carried some of those same knives and found catastrophic flaws with them that would have been noticed if there was even the slightest bit of use and carry on it. So that's kind of the mission of the channel. That's the meat and potatoes of what we're doing here. We're carrying this stuff. We're using it. We're trying to find the good stuff on the budget end. And that's what we do here. And like I said, you guys have been making this possible. You guys have been making this possible, and I'm immensely grateful. But I can't really think of a lot else to add before I'm just holding you guys hostage. So all that being said, thanks for looking at my face. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing or anything else. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.